I'm Pastor Sean of First Grace United Methodist Church and a leader in Together New Orleans. And we are here today to create a sense of urgency for our city council and our utility system to act to better protect the citizens of this city during the growing dangers of power outages. As we all know, it's been 20 years since Hurricane Katrina. It's been another 13 since Isaac and 3.5 since Ida. And since that time, in those 3.5 years since Ida, grassroots community organizations like Together New Orleans have built 20 microgrids. Together New Orleans has built 15, and Get Lit and Stay Lit restaurants have built 5. That's the good news.
Yeah.
Over that same time period, our utility system, with far more resources and a legal mandate to ensure resilience, has built 0. Obviously, we are not in a competition, amen? If you had a scoreboard, however, it would read small grassroots organizations with a small budget of a few $100,000, 20 microgrids, and at a utility system with $756 million budget, that's nearly $1 billion budget, has built 0 microgrids. Now this gap, as we can tell, is not because of capacity. It is because of priority. We need our city council and our utility system to prioritize resilience and distributed energy.
We're not just here pointing out problems. We're pointing out solutions.
Amen.
My church, Household of Faith, has 408 solar panels connected to an 8,000-pound battery backup. So when the grid fails, our lights stay on. We have charging stations, cooling systems, refrigeration, and communication. We stay online and we are ready to serve. That's not a problem, that's a solution. And for the, come on somebody, thank God for it. And we've shown on the ground that this solution works. The time is now for our utility system to take that solution and run with it. Together New Orleans and the Alliance for Affordable Energy submitted a plan to build backup power for every community, for every neighborhood in our city, to protect nursing homes, clinics, hospitals, grocery stores, equip faith institutions, and community centers and shelters. And we will install solar and storage systems on 1,000 homes of the most vulnerable residents. So the city council has the plan on their desk. What we need is the political will for them to act. That is why we're here today. We're here today to beat the drum for power outages, that we would take action. We're here to beat the drum for action on power outages. We're here to ring the bell. We're here to ring the bell for grid resilience. We're here to sound the alarm because our lives depend on it.
After the lights went out during Hurricane Ida, I knew I couldn't spend 3 weeks to a month in the dark with my 2 boys and my elderly father-in-law. So we risked going down the dark stairwell to escape to Houston. Returning home right outside of Baton Rouge, we were involved in a 9-car crash with 2 semi-trucks. One truck careened across the top of our car, setting it on fire. We were blessed. We lost everything we had with us and groceries that we were bringing back home. Others lost family members. It was dangerous leaving. It was risky staying. We almost died coming back. But this can't happen again. We have to do better.
My name is Sister Julie Marsh, and I'm the Director of Operations for Hotel Hope, which is an emergency shelter for unhoused mothers and their children. We serve families facing homelessness for the first time, as well as those who have experienced it chronically. Following Hurricane Ida, I learned very quickly that I did not have enough packaged food for our families. I could not cook because I had no electricity. I had no refrigeration, of course, because of no electricity, so I had no food. I had no way to keep them connected to their families because I didn't have electricity to charge their cell phones or to keep families comfortable in the unbearable heat. Women and their children, newborns to 17 years old, and I was responsible for keeping these lives from illness and heat stroke. After a day, we crammed everyone we could into my car and made it to a shelter in Baton Rouge. But the whole experience was terrifying and dangerous. If we had had a backup power system, we wouldn't have had to leave. We could have kept those children fed and cool and safe right here in our own city. We know this is going to happen again. We need a backup power to help vulnerable communities like the one I serve.
Like Sister Julie, the neighborhood that First Grace is in lost power during Francine. And we all know that we're going to lose power again. That's part of the bargain of living here. You live in California, there may be a fire, but we know that's going to happen. But I want to show you a picture. Somebody's got a picture of a child with a hula hoop. No, we don't. But if we did, who would like to be in an air-conditioned room when the power lines are down, watching children hula hoop in the air conditioning while neighbors charge up their phones? We found out during Hurricane Francine that even when the power lines go down, we can power up and we can serve our community. What we found out through Community Lighthouse is that the whole city functioned better because there was a community lighthouse. The city called us and said, can we bring our oxygen tanks to you so they can be distributed because you have power? The Salvation Army called us. Can we set up our food truck there because you have power? The food bank called us. Can we distribute food out of your community lighthouse because you have power? Smaller Footprint that distributes electric generators for people who need power for their medical devices called us. Can we distribute our electric generators out of your church because we had power? Let me just say this. There was a lot of joy in that community lighthouse and in that fellowship house, a fellowship hall, when the lights all around us were out, but they weren't in that place. We do not need to be the exception. We are here to tell you that there is a solution. We invited our city council members who originally planned to be at this press conference, but they were asked by a city utility office not to attend because this is an active docket. We understand that, but we also know this. Sometimes your city council members need to feel the power of the people behind them to get done what we know can get done.
We understand the danger. We understand the solution. The time has come to act now. We are calling on our city council to finalize, fund, and approve the plan to distributed resilience by August 29, 2025. That date is August 29, 2025, the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. It is our resolve to remember that day in remembrance, but not in remembrance only, to mark that day with grief, but not with grief only, to mark that day with action. Action of this city council, building upon the creative and hard work of this community. We will mark this day saying, we knew the danger, we found the solution, and we acted with courage to make it a reality. This is what we want to do, this is what we want to see, and we're calling on our council to make it happen. I would like to close with one of my grandmother's favorite songs. She would sing, "This little lighthouse of mine, I'ma let it shine. This little lighthouse of mine, I'ma let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine." Today, we're thankful for you being here. Any questions, any thoughts from the press? We thank you, and we know that this will happen because our city needs it, and we don't want any more lives to be lost due to power outages.